Now, things are only getting better here at the channel, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of exciting reviews already in, a lot more on the way, I kid you not. This has been one crazy, hectic time, and it's only gonna get busier. Now, if you checked out my channel as of late, you know I checked out the all-new Dell XPS 15, the 7590, and I really liked it. But I also checked out the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon 7th Gen, which I just released a few days ago. But not to be outdone by that, I also got something else from Lenovo, and it's something you've been wanting and asking for a long time. It's the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Yoga 4th Gen, and it's really fantastic. Excellent build quality, gorgeous 4K display. I also got the full HD display to compare the two, and a lot more. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is my review of the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Yoga 4th Gen. Coming up. Want to see more videos like this? Why not hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell? This way you'll be alerted every time I post a new video. Okay, before we get to the unboxing, here's a quick rundown of the specs. You're looking at a 14-inch 4K UHD IPS display with Dolby Vision HDR400. It's powered by the Intel 8th generation processor, the Whiskey Lake processor, a quad-core processor. It also has the Intel UHD 620 graphics. You can get this with up to 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, and also up to 1 terabyte of PCIe NVMe SSD storage. It has a 51 watt-hour battery. You can get it with optional LTE, Intel dual band wireless 9560, and of course Bluetooth 5.0. It comes in a very thin and light package with a starting weight of 2.99 pounds or 1.35 kilograms. You're looking at a starting price of $1269 US. As tested, you're looking at around $3,700, but on sale right now for about $2,200. But that's enough with the specs. Let's find out what you get inside the box. Let's open it up. Now, we'll get to the unit in just a moment, but inside the box, of course, is your extension cord along with your 65 watt power adapter that supports rapid charge. It's a USB-C adapter. You get some safety, warranty information, and a setup guide. Now, holding the unit for the first time, gotta love that iron gray finish and a really sleek metallic look. This thing is looking awesome. And this thing doesn't show fingerprints quite as easily as the X1 Carbon with its carbon fiber finish, and that's pretty good. This is a really premium feel with solid build quality that we've come to expect with the ThinkPad line. You gotta love that. Unlike last year's version, which is the carbon fiber material used, this has the precision machined aluminum chassis with that iron gray finish. I actually really like it. Now, it's 11% thinner than the last generation. It's also a 17% smaller footprint. It has a weight of 2.99 pounds or 1.35 kilograms. And it underwent a battery of 12 military standard 810G tests to give it a really extreme durability, and it can take a licking and keep on ticking. That's for sure. And I love the fact the pen stores in the device, making it a lot harder to lose, and that's pretty good as well. Now, the ports are the same as the X1 Carbon we just took a look at. Now, on the left side, you get two Thunderbolt 3 ports, a breakout port for Ethernet, USB-A 3.1, HDMI 1.4, and a 3.5mm audio jack. Moving over to the right side, you have the silo where your pen goes, you have your power button, and of course another USB-A 3.1, a heat vent, and a Noble lock port. Unfortunately, you no longer get a micro SD card slot. Okay, when it comes to the display, two options were sent over by Lenovo. On the left is that gorgeous 4K UHD HDR400 Dolby Vision display. And on the right is the full HD version 1920 by 1080, which is really sharp in its own right. Let's start off with the UHD version, and then we'll take a look at the full HD version in depth. Now, this is one badass display, I kid you not. This thing is super sharp, really good resolution. That's 3840 by 2160. Covers the color gamut really well at 100% sRGB, 85% Adobe RGB. So for those creative professionals, this is a good choice to do Lightroom, Photoshop, and of course, video editing. Lenovo claims that this panel will get up to 500 nits in terms of brightness. I actually measured 433, which is actually really excellent, very bright display. That means you'll have no trouble using this in both indoor and outdoor scenarios. And because it's an HDR 400 display, watching high dynamic range content is simply superb. You can watch Amazon, Netflix, YouTube in its highest capacity. It looks simply stunning. And for a convertible, it has some pretty slim side bezels, although you will notice the chin on the bottom and you will notice the space on the top that of course houses the webcam. But having such a high resolution, sharp display does have its price, and that means you're going to get less battery life. That's why you might want to look at the next option. It's the Full HD option that Lenovo sent over as well. So what we're looking at here is that 14-inch Full HD IPS display that has a resolution of 1920 by 1080. Now Lenovo claims this display will get up to 400 nits in terms of brightness. I measured 332, which is actually pretty bright. So you can use this again in both indoor and outdoor scenarios, just like the 4K version. Just not quite as bright, but bright enough, that's for sure. And it also covers the color gamut really well, 100% sRGB, 76% Adobe RGB. So again, if you're a creative professional, this is one you can look at. And one of the reasons you might want to pick the Full HD version over the UHD Dolby Vision version is because this will come in at less money, and it also will give you basically double the battery life. Let's take a look at the numbers. So let's start off with the brightness numbers. As you can see, it's very comparable to the X1 Carbon 7th Gen that we just took a look at. As you can see, these both can hold their own. Again, these are some things you want to take a look at. Brightness to me is very important. And when it comes to the battery life, as you can see, the Full HD model did 10 hours and 44 minutes on my continuous web surfing test, whereas the 4K HDR model got 5 hours and 25 minutes. So if you do need longevity, I would definitely look at that Full HD model, that's for sure. Now, if you do need to plug in, both models support fast charging. That's thanks to that 65 watt power adapter that is supplied in the box. It'll give you 80% in 60 minutes, a full charge 1 hour and 44 minutes. And that's pretty good. Now, of course, this being a convertible, you can put it into the different modes. Here you can put it into the tent mode, great for recipes in the kitchen, watching Netflix, YouTube, and the like. Same goes for the stand mode. Now, you can put it into the tablet mode. This is great for use with the pen or to check out some websites while you're just surfing on the sofa. It's really convenient in that regard, and it makes for a pretty good tablet. I have to say that. It has a really nice feel to it. But for me, most of the time, I use it in laptop mode. Now, when it comes to the pen, it's actually on the small side. That's because they wanted to be able to make it fit inside the device. This way you won't lose it. Now, it uses Wacom AES technology. It has 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity. Palm rejection all worked well. Great for taking notes, great for sketching out artwork, and the like. Not only does the pen store in the device, it's also rechargeable. So that means in 15 seconds, you're going to get 100 minutes of use according to Lenovo. That's pretty good. Now, you don't have to be searching for any batteries or anything like that. I like the fact that this is rechargeable. That's good. Now, if you watch any of my past videos regarding the X1 line, you know I love the keyboard that they use on this. It's a little bit thinner this time as far as the device is concerned, so you do get less key travel. That's one thing to keep in mind. But it's still a great keyboard nonetheless. You get the smile-shaped keys we've come to know and love. It has a pretty comfortable typing experience, and it has a multi-stage backlight that allow you to get work done in a dark room or a dimly lit environment. Now, it also has a precision touchpad, which worked really well, very responsive. It was a decent size, has physical mouse buttons, two-finger scrolling was buttery smooth, and all your Windows 10 gestures worked as advertised. And of course, it has the track point, one of the best pointing devices, I think, on an ultra portable. And it's here, it's great for navigating through the OS. It's pretty responsive as well. So this is the front-facing camera on the all-new Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Yoga. 4th gen, it's a 720p 30 frames per second. Good for Skype, good for video conferencing. I would say it's okay. I've seen worse, that's for sure. It's not the best I've ever seen, but definitely will get the job done. I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. And for those tired of having to put tape on their webcam to get more privacy, more security, this has the Think Shutter switch, will do a great job in giving you that privacy that you want. And just like the X1 Carbon, there's a fingerprint scanner located right next to the touchpad. It worked pretty well registering my finger every time I used it. Great for Windows Hello login. Now when it comes to performance, this is pretty much the same device as the X1 Carbon 7th gen. This also has the Core i7-8665U with V Pro. It has Intel UHD graphics 620. There is no dedicated GPU option, 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. As you can see from the PC Mark test, which is a good indication of everyday use, it's very similar. It also did very well on the Geekbench 4 test, which is a more synthetic benchmark, and of course the Cinebench R15 test. So what do all these numbers mean? It means it's going to do really well doing things like Microsoft Office, web browsing, email, doing things such as Photoshop, video editing if you're doing 1080p. If you want to do 4K video editing, I would add an external GPU via the Thunderbolt 3 ports. Now as far as gaming is concerned, just like the X1 Carbon that we just took a look at, you can play some of the older titles if you lower the settings. Of course, the more modern titles will not play quite as well, unless if you do opt for that external GPU, but that will add to the overall cost of this laptop. But let's be clear, people are not buying this to play games, they're buying this to get work done and to do everyday tasks. Now Lenovo makes it really easy to get inside this laptop. All you need to do is loosen the captive Phillips head screws, remove the bottom plate, and you're in. Now once inside, you'll notice that 51 watt-hour battery, the downward facing speakers. Now the RAM is soldered in, you won't be able to upgrade that. The SSD is upgradable, but you do get some really good reads and writes. And of course, the Wi-Fi card is soldered in as well. Here you see the silo where the pen goes, and there's a space where the optional LTE will go. And I'm not surprised that the thermals are pretty much identical almost to the X1 Carbon that we just took a look at, because they have pretty much the same internals, a lot of the same parts, a lot of the same features. And it will get a little bit warm under heavy load when you're really stressing it out, but for normal everyday tasks it stayed relatively cool. The fan will kick in under heavy load, you will hear it, but it's not too loud and not annoying at all, so that's good. Now Lenovo outfitted the X1 Yoga with Dolby Atmos speakers, and they actually sound really good, filling up the room pretty richly, has good volume, and there's even a hint of bass. So overall I think they did a good job on the audio. So to bring it all home, can I recommend the all-new ThinkPad X1 Yoga 4th Gen? And the answer is absolutely. This has got to be one of the best convertibles out there right now for 2019. It's got a stunning 4K HDR Dolby Vision display option. The Full HD option is great as well, especially if you want better battery life. It's super thin and light, very good performance. It's got an excellent keyboard, touchpad, and track point. Love the ThinkShutter switch, and I love the fact that the pen stores in the device and is rechargeable. Now the negatives here of course are that average battery life that we can expect with that 4K HDR model, and that can get expensive. There are no deal breakers here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give this a score of 93%, making the X1 Yoga my editor's choice for the convertible laptop category here for 2019, making it worth your money. So what do you think about the X1 Yoga 4th Gen? I absolutely love it. This thing is a beast. Now I love this gorgeous iron gray like finish on this. It's a metallic finish. It's different than the X1 Carbon, which of course has that carbon finish, carbon fiber finish. This actually looks really good, and I love the ability to use the pen, and you can store the pen in the device so you won't lose it. The pen worked really great. It is a Wacom AES technology, so if you want to use other pens like the Bamboo and so forth, you can use it on this. Great for inking, great for taking notes, sketching out artwork, really good. Excellent battery life out of the Full HD model. Now this is the 4K HDR model, and this is a Dolby Vision display. It is simply stunning, it's absolutely gorgeous. But there is a price to pay for having such a gorgeous display, and that is battery life. You're going to get half the battery life of the Full HD model. So take a careful look at that Full HD model, because it has a nice display in its own right. Yes, it's 1080p, but it's really good. Really checks all the boxes. This is my favorite convertible laptop right now, here for 2019. It really is everything you'd want. Looks, powerful performance, really good battery life if you choose the Full HD model. Excellent display either way. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya. It's the new Lenovo Yoga X1. What the f is it called?